walking on the floor! Do it now!
The Special Constabulary is the nation's volunteer police force.
Do you know the gent?
What's your speed?
It's made up of over 20,000 members of the public.
Oh, he's gone down there.
Who give their time to fight crime in their communities.
Out! Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Specials combine their day jobs
Stage, please.
and home lives
He's a good boy.
with being serving police officers on the front line. Coming up, Alex is called to a break-in at a school.
Go out now, this is your last chance!
Lewis is pushed to the limit by a drunk student.
I'm an extremely patient person. However, people can push that patience and push it and push it and push it until you have to act upon it.
I'm not going to punch you. Even if I touch you, I'm not going to hurt you.
Do not.
I'm not.
And Ben investigates a criminal gang in an audacious shoplifting attempt.
It was actually £900 worth of sort of whiskey.
Saturday night. And Special Assistant Chief Officer Alex Walden is preparing for a night shift. Volunteering his time for free is something Alex has been doing for over a decade. Even when, like tonight, the temperature outside is just above freezing.
I joined the Specials 12 years ago. A lot of people complain about they never see a police officer or isn't crime awful and all the things people complain about. I'm not one to just moan. I thought, well, I can actually try and help here.
When he's not volunteering as a special, Alex is the manager of the BBC Concert Orchestra.
I manage the musicians and the logistical team that help support the orchestra on the road.
Today we're pre-recording the Friday Night is Music Night, which is for BBC Radio 2. It goes out on it every Friday, the clue's in the title. So tonight, the orchestra manager's job is to make sure that the orchestra are on stage at the right time. We need to tune, and then I need to get that all in place by a specific time that the producer will give me 10 minutes before we start, and then off we go. If it all goes well, I won't do an awful lot. If it doesn't go well, I'll be breaking a sweat.
Today's performance is in London, but Alex's job can take him across the world, booking hotels, restaurants and flights for the entire orchestra.
It's a 2, 3 and a 2 on the plane.
Everyone's tuned by about 2 minutes to 8.
Good.
I don't have a typical day, and sometimes I don't quite know what I'm doing for the day. I have to just keep my schedule by me all the time and have a glance and think where I am that day.
But have you had one of these yet? Because we've now finalised it.
There you go, darling.
Thanks, Kim.
Concerts aren't during the day, usually. They're in the evening or at the weekends. So knowing that I've got 3 late nights in a week, and then I'm thinking also that there's a special operation that needs help as well, juggling that could be really tough. I think being a special is an escape from my day job, which can sometimes have its own pressures.
OK, ladies and gents, on we go, please. Stage, please. On we go.
Sometimes when my energy might be a bit low and I've come in from work and I'm thinking, oh, I'm a bit tired, am I going to make this? The minute that first call comes on the radio, I've forgotten all about that, and suddenly I've got this, like a second wind, and off I go.
Tonight, Alex is en route to a burglary at a local school.
Thank you for got a report 3 boys who have opened the window to the college.
And that's collars.
Alex and his colleague, Special Chief Inspector Steve McCallion, are now just minutes away.
They're wearing civvy joggers The informant is staying on the phone.
To hear a burglary in progress come over the radio, it means they're on the premises. We have actually got a chance to catch someone here. Just that thought that they're in there and we can catch them. It's one of those calls that does get it gets the juices flowing.
Please.
Alpha X-ray 3, we're nearly there.
Yeah, for 7-4, so just make sure that we're turning sirens now and lights are just fitted.
We're now turning the sirens and lights off because we don't want to give anyone a tip-off that we're here. There's an element of stealth, I guess, that's involved. We don't want them just to scatter, so you've got to be careful there because you want to catch them.
According to the person who reported the break-in, the suspects are still inside the school.
We were certainly under the impression they were still there from what the witness had been telling us. He'd not seen them come out. The dangers are you don't just want to go jumping in through a window. It might look great, an action man, all this stuff jumping in, but you've got to weigh up that risk. You don't know who's hiding around the corner. You don't know what they've got in their hands. You don't know what things could be improvised and become weapons. It's like an animal that's trapped in the corner. You know, they could lash out at you, so you've got to be really careful.
It's pitch black. The officers have established the suspects are in the school, but reports indicate they might have a weapon. This is a job for the dog handler.
It's a school, it's big, and if they're in there somewhere and they're not coming out, we're not going to find them very easily, but a dog will. People don't like dogs. They don't like dogs. You could be the toughest man in the world, they often don't like dogs.
The police Alsatian is trained to track the suspect's scent and chase them if they attempt to run away.
People are frightened of dogs in a way that they're not frightened of police officers, even armed with a baton ready to strike. And the dog will find you. It doesn't matter how dark it is, they'll find you.
The handler gives the suspects a final warning. Surrounded by police officers, 3 youths give themselves up.
They knew there was a dog, so they showed themselves. Those lads may not have been the brainiest lads you'd ever meet, but I don't think they were that stupid. I get the impression, even maybe with burglars sometimes, that they think, look, if I'm going to steal a telly, you get a new one on your insurance and think it's only property. What's the big deal? But to be left with that feeling of being intruded upon, those actions have really dramatic impact on all of us. And actually, it's not just about the property.
The 3 teenagers who were unarmed were taken into custody. They eventually pleaded guilty to burglary and each received a community service order.
This was a really good example of the specials at work. We're there to support the regular police force, so we were able to arrive, we're extra resource, we were able to contain. I think we've provided at least 3 extra officers to that incident, and we joined that team and we're part of that team, and we're there to support and help.
After an exhausting week, it's nights like this which remind Alex why he gives so much of his time to the Special Constabulary.
To catch any person committing a crime is satisfying, it just is. It's hard to explain, but you make an instant difference. Burglaries are one of those, I know it was a school, sometimes it could be a dwelling, a house. It's a personal thing, and you want to catch people. And so often, you just don't quite make it in time, or they've found another exit route, or you turn up one side and they sneak out the other side. So to be able to contain the building like we did, and to catch them, well, yeah, it was really satisfying.
Specials are unpaid volunteers who work alone or alongside the regular police to fight crime in their communities.
We got all of them! Don't want to see you walking on the main road again. Come on. Recovery's obviously en route.
Specials are not police community support officers. They're fully fledged members of the police force who have the same powers in law as their paid colleagues, including the power of arrest.
Stop it! Let me remind you, you're under arrest, and anything you say will be written down.
Within many special constabularies, officers can rise through the ranks, from constable all the way to chief specials officer.
Ouch, I found a thorn. Den, incoming.
Specials work 16 hours a month or more as volunteers and undertake all kinds of duties. from policing community events to arresting hardened criminals. A special constable has to be ready to fight any type of crime, responding to calls from the public and businesses alike.
State 5 to immediate incident.
Today, Special Constable Ben Bentham and PC Peter Torak are in Peterborough and have had a call about a shoplifter at a local supermarket.
I think the economic times that we've had have had a big bearing on shoplifting. Repeat shoplifters will try and push the limit they can actually take away.
When he's not volunteering or at his day job as an IT recruitment consultant.
So tell me, what sort of jobs are you looking for then?
Ben is at home with his wife Sophie.
I'm very proud for what he does. He does get tired, working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, if not longer than them, and then going out on a Friday night shift. He could be up at 7 on Friday and then work all the way through till 5 o'clock Saturday morning. You can get grumpy sometimes as well with a bit of tiredness, but doesn't everyone?
All right. I come in on a Friday night and say, no, I'm going out now, going out on shift and leaving all the dinner and house jobs to her that I should probably be doing, but I'm off fighting crime. So he got arrested, put in a cell for the night.
He enjoys what it is and what it's all about, and I think he wants to help others.
Being a special is a great way of giving something back to the community.
How much have you drunk tonight?
There are aspects of the adrenaline rush that you get, and it's just being in situations where you've never been in before. New events, new issues, new aspects of life, I would imagine.
I do help out because I know he's doing that extra bit for the general public, and so I do my extra bit at home.
Hello, buddy.
Ben and his regular colleague Peter arrive at the supermarket to speak to the shoplifter who's been apprehended by security guards.
What has been happening here?
Sorry, I don't know speak.
The man claims he can't speak English.
I think you can speak English quite well, so if you just tell me slowly in your ability, what has happened.
My friend is here, no police. Here, money.
The language barrier is proving difficult to break through.
It's Christmas.
We can't talk to him, we can't find out things. We'd usually find out straight on and get their first account.
Where are you from? Romania?
Romania.
Okay. Just take a seat, mate.
Unable to get a clear explanation from the suspect, the officers have no idea what has happened.
When we spoke to the security guards, they explained it wasn't just a normal shoplifting. There were a few people involved.
If I show you on the camera here, so that's where they're selecting from.
In the security office, Ben and Peter are shown in-store CCTV, and it becomes clear the man was not working alone.
They're selecting obviously quite a large amount, so I passed them over straight away to control to start following, monitoring them.
The camera shows how the suspect in the brown leather jacket and his accomplice first fill up the trolley with boxes of whiskey, then split up.
From my experience as a special, there's definitely a sort of an increase in groups and gangs that are shoplifting.
The accomplice acts as a spotter and begins to monitor the security guards.
It was obvious he was working with him, he was watching me at all times, he was on the phone at all times.
Meanwhile, the man continues to walk around the store, but doesn't put anything else in his trolley.
The security guards were well aware that there were spotters that acting on his behalf and helping him or aiding him in getting the stuff out without being paid for. So it's quite a regular thing now that we hear that spotters are helping people to shoplift.
While the spotter unsuccessfully attempts to distract the security guards, the suspect heads for the exit. He's quickly stopped and detained. In the commotion, the spotter escapes without detection.
They've rehearsed. He'd escaped the supermarket and fled off in a car.
The CCTV appears to give them the evidence they need. Now they must assess the value of the alcohol in the trolley.
Have you got a till receipt by any chance? So it's exactly £900.
The quantity of items that he'd taken, and it was actually £900 worth of sort of whiskey. So it was a fair quantity that he'd tried to escape with.
Shoplifters cost UK stores around £4.5 billion each year and add about £180 to the average family's annual shopping bill. With such a high-value theft, Ben and Peter have heard enough and decide to arrest the man.
You put hands like this, you're under arrest. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you don't mention when questioned something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand? What we will do, when we get to the station, you will get an interpreter, and we will explain everything, OK? Interpreter? Yes.
Shoplifters, generally, they are repeat offenders. It's become a habit. They learn new tricks, new ways of getting things out of the shop without paying them, and it becomes quite a repeat offence for them being caught and for us dealing with them.
What's that? You understand?
It's not the biggest of crimes in the world, but it's still a crime that we have to deal with and we take seriously and go through the normal processes.
The man eventually pleaded guilty in court and received a 2-year conditional discharge and court costs of £85. The majority of specials volunteer on Friday nights and weekends. This often means patrolling high streets and town centres on the front line of Britain's binge drinking culture.
Town centres can be horrible places. Fighting, drinking, violence, that can be really horrible for the members of the public to see.
He just started on me. He's wrong for me.
They will be louder. They're unpredictable.
Do not move.
There's drinking and there's being able to handle your drink. The binge drinking is absolutely terrible. It makes people act different.
No way, stop swearing.
They can become violent and aggressive quite quickly.
And come on. Do not kick out.
But it's about making sure that you control the situation and not let it escalate to the point where there's any violence.
Listen.
And as a special, we might be that officer on the high street that afternoon or that evening that wouldn't have been there had we not volunteered that night.
Full punch, right in the face, knocked him to the ground, the bouncers had seen it.
To take them off the streets that night so they can sleep it off is really rewarding.
Tonight, in the battle to reclaim the streets, is 21-year-old Special Sergeant Lewis Newton and his colleague, Special Constable and website developer Adam Barnwell.
If you are caught in the city centre or outside the pub or anywhere in the city centre, you're going to be arrested.
Taking a stand against the lager louts is the reason Lewis decided to become a volunteer.
It is one of the reasons why I became a special. The binge drinking, the antisocial behaviour. Someone needs to crack down on that, and that's what I want to do. So I'll stop it, and I want to see that difference, and I want to make the public proud. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so you've got the pay and go where you can literally just pay for everything as you come along.
When he's not in police uniform patrolling the streets, Lewis is a membership consultant at his local gym.
Here I'm on a 40-hour-week contract, so that's not a Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. That is Monday all the way through to Sunday if I have to.
Any more appointments booked for today?
Did have 2, but she's cancelled for the snow, so she's coming in tomorrow.
Balancing his time between a day job, volunteering as a special, and the social life of a typical 21-year-old isn't easy.
I meet my friends regularly, and they know what I do, so they appreciate when I can't come out sometimes. I plan way ahead. I keep diary after diary after diary, really.
Giving up his time for free is a sacrifice Lewis is more than willing to make in order to fulfil his childhood ambition of becoming a police officer.
I became a special because I was brought up from a young age around emergency services. My dad's in the ambulance service. From there, I then had my heart set ever since I was playing for my police cars when I was young, and to join the police.
Tonight, Lewis and his special colleague, Adam Barnwell, have received a call from door staff about a student who has been thrown out of a club.
Go away!
When they arrive on scene, the man is still arguing with door staff.
I'm a peaceful person.
Hello, sir. Move over.
No.
Move out the way.
No, can
Move
I
out
be
the way
serious?
now. Listen to me. Yes.
No, listen.
Listen to me.
Listen.
Keep your
I'm a
arms down
foreign
by the side of
student.
you and listen to me.
I'm
Yes.
I'm a forest student.
You've been asked to leave,
I
so you're
understand
leaving.
that.
Yes.
No, but can I ask why?
You're leaving because they've asked you
No,
to. That's
no,
all.
seriously, no. I'm pretty sure it's
Your arm's down now.
No, to ask why.
The man did appear intoxicated due to his demeanour on the scene. He was very loud, and as well as that, as soon as I had gained a good distance between him, I could clearly smell drink on his breath.
I didn't attack anyone. I didn't punch anyone. That God.
Keep your arms down. They're going to get arrested in a minute. So keep your arms down. Simple as that. Okay, I'm not going to say it again.
It's just my culture.
We received quite a lot of training in people's demeanour and how their hands approach at all times. In this case, his hands were constantly up towards my body, the top of my body and towards my face, and he stands very close to you when he talks to you. So it was I kept informing him to lower his hands for my safety and for the public's.
No, I'm serious. It's just my culture. I don't mean any harm to you.
Okay, my culture is that I'm giving your arms down. So.
It's not about his nationality, it's about his body and his demeanour at the time. A police officer's asked him to lower his hands for his safety as he feels concerns, so you need to take that on board, and he needed to listen.
No, dude, can I ask something?
Don't call me dude, 'cause I'm not your dude. And put your hand down. Put your hand down.
Officer.
Okay?
I didn't
I don't know what's
anyone.
happened here.
I didn't punch
But what I
anyone.
do know is you're
So
shouting.
why is
You're shouting. Okay, you're disturbing the peace. So I'm asking you. I don't care if he's asked you to leave or not. I'm now asking you to leave. So if you don't leave, you will be arrested. So which one are you going to do?
Can I ask why?
Okay, at the minute, from my side, you're drunk and disorderly. Okay, and you're disturbing the peace. That's two offences.
Can
you will
I
be
leave
arrested.
right now? What other
You can leave
defense
right
can
now.
I make?
You will be leaving right now.
No.
The man is refusing to leave, despite being told he is being drunk and disorderly and disturbing the peace. Both arrestable offences.
It's not fair. I got choked on the ground for nothing.
Right.
He claimed that the door staff had ejected him forcefully.
Choked on the ground.
Lewis talks to the door staff to hear their side of the story.
We went and spoke to the bouncers purely to gain some more information about the situation and how it's resulted in him being outside of this location instead of inside. They informed us that he's had too much to drink, and also, due to his demeanour inside the club, they've asked him to leave. He's refused to and not listened to them as well, and they've had to use force to eject him.
I'm not going to put my hand down.
You're not going to listen to me.
I'm going to get moving on now. I've had enough. Oh, mate, I might come back in a chat in a minute.
You're still talking.
Lewis and Adam don't want to arrest the man, but he's refusing to leave.
Okay, now, that is the end of the story. You now have to move on.
No, that's not the end of the story for me. That is not. I'm not being offended.
The man wants to make an official complaint against the door staff, but as Adam and Lewis have explained, any statement would be useless because of his level of intoxication.
Sir, my patience
No,
is
can
very
I ask
thin.
you something? I didn't punch anyone. I didn't assault anyone.
The specials are running out of options.
It is annoying when someone doesn't listen to you. Using force in any situation is the last thing we want to use. We want to use communicating and deal with it appropriately. But in some situations, we need to.
I'm not arguing with you anymore. Go now. Move it.
No, really.
Move it.
I'm
now.
asking.
I'm not arguing
Why
with you
am I
anymore.
being pushed?
Keep moving it that way.
Why am
Simple
I
as
being
that.
pushed?
Go home. Go
Why am I
home
being
now.
pushed?
Go home now. Move it.
I'm asking you. You just
Go
pushed me
home
into
now.
a wall.
Go home. Simple
I'm
as that.
asking. I'm
Go
not
home.
being violent. I'm not being
Go home.
anything. What
Move
is
it.
wrong with you? What am I being wrong? No. I'm not even being violent. I'm not being anything.
You've got two options. This is your last and final warning.
No, I'm
right?
being
You go home or you get
being
arrested. Which one are you having?
We, as police officers, we don't go out there to make an arrest. We go out there to deal with it appropriately. In this situation, he's had too much to drink, so we'd rather him get to a safe location, either at home or with a friend's house or something like that, or just escort him out of the city centre.
A good Samaritan steps in to talk sense into the student.
No, listen. No. Dude, if you start now, then what next?
man. Come
what next?
Come with me.
Take him with you. Take him with you.
No. Dude.
He convinces him to go with him.
Myself and my colleague were very relieved that someone took him away. We thought that this person, if he didn't want to listen to us, he may listen to them. It will prevent him from being arrested. It will give us more time to deal with more incidents that may occur later on during the night. We were very relieved that he got taken away, as we felt that was more appropriate for him.
He's one of our customers who will literally come back and back at you. You can talk to him, you can be the politest police officer ever, but it won't work with him. He's had too much to drink, he needs to go home. Hopefully that guy over there talks him some sense into him and he actually takes him back.
But despite the Good Samaritan's best efforts, he fails to convince the man to go home. He's back again, and now Lewis is the target of his antagonism.
Okay, can I ask you something?
No, go. No, be quiet, go.
My heart did think at the time, purely down to the fact that I thought we'd resolved this situation. I thought the situation was finished and we could move on to a more serious incident.
Go away, now.
To answer my questions.
I'm not answering your questions, go away.
No, I'm asking you a question. Am I being violent?
I'm an extremely patient person. I have been throughout my whole life. I feel patience gets you quite a long way. However, people can push that patience, push it and push it and push it until you have to act upon it.
And you thought I was going to back away? No.
Put it this way, you touch me one more time and you're going to be on that floor.
You can charge me as much as you want.
Step back from me
as
now.
much as you want. I'm not going to punch you.
But
even if I touch you, I'm not going to hurt you.
Do not.
I'm not going to hurt you. You cannot do
as much
as you want.
Lewis has given the man warning after warning about his behaviour, and specifically his hand gestures. But now he's had enough.
Why you do this to me?
All right, you're under arrest for drunk and disorderly, OK? You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you don't mention when questioned, something which you later on in court. Anything you do say may be good evidence. Do you understand? Thank you.
It really wasn't the outcome I wanted. I wanted him to leave the city centre as requested. But if we didn't make that arrest, we never know, we could possibly be doing with the same guy a couple of hours later, and it could be a more serious incident.
I do not believe that I provoked you.
I'm a 21-year-old. I do like to have a drink with my friends when I'm socialising. However, I know the difference between having a drink and having too much to drink and becoming a nuisance and doing things that you shouldn't be doing.
Why? Ask me. Did I tell you? Is there a video?
The man was taken back to custody and received a fixed penalty notice for £80.
It is difficult to see and deal with the effects of alcohol on a regular basis. And where we could be responding to serious 009 calls, we have to deal with people who've had too much to drink and can't handle themselves when they should be having a good night out.